like, Beverly keeps looking off screen.
Yeah.
She seems very distracted.
She's super distracted during a lot of shots. There's this one where it's straight up just reminding me of that one skit in Key and Peele where they make fun of the aerobics championship from Crystal Light.
Yeah.
Do not adjust your tracking. You are now listening to the VH Saturday podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of VHS Saturday, the show where we discuss these strange, unusual, odd, and obscure VHS tapes that we obtain through thrift, gift, and grift. My name is Henry.
And I'm Allison.
And this week, we found Dancin Grannies.
We had what I like to call a DGDF, Dancin Grannies double feature.
You like to call it that? Like,
yeah,
this is a reoccurring thing now.
Yeah,
Just get all the Dancin Grannies tapes.
But the unfortunate thing about that is there's actually a third tape in the series that we don't have. We have Dancin Grannies. So the first tape in the series is Mature Fitness Beginners, and then we also have Mature Fitness Active Workout.
Which is actually the first one we got. What was it? What's the one we're missing? What's it called?
It's called Low Impact,
Low
Easy
Impact.
Start.
So the thing about this is like, we want to find weird ass tapes, and like I know there's all kinds of how-to tapes on like for like senior citizens, to how to massage senior citizens, how to, stretch for senior citizens. I knew there was all kinds of like aerobics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to know, like, it was the 80s and 90s, like jazzercise was a thing. There's gotta be some kind of high intensity anaerobic exercise for seniors. And so I just look up Dancin Grannies. Lo and behold, it's a fucking thing. And
wait, you searched for Dancin Grannies without knowing
Yes.
it existed?
Yes.
Wow.
I was like, there's got to be Dancin Grannies. Like,
this must exist.
This has to exist. Like, it's just that sense of like this. I've seen enough stupid ass VHS tapes targeted towards old people that like
Let's be real.
I knew they had to exist.
There was like, we cannot talk about VHS as a medium without talking about the exercise tape craze.
Yeah, exactly.
That there was.
Exactly.
Just in general, there was an exercise tape for everything.
Right. They targeted everybody. Like earlier we were watching like Barbie. Barbie had an exercise tape.
Yeah.
Right? And so
and it's really, really weird. It's
a lot of stop motion. It looked straight out of fucking Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
It was very good stop motion, but like, wow, it's kind of jarring.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I looked for Dancin Grannies. Lo and behold, it's a thing. And I was trying to find a cheap tape because I didn't know if it was actually gonna be funny or not. And I found a bundle on eBay of like 8 different, like it was like 6 to 8 fucking VHS tapes all about senior citizens doing exercise. So I have a variety of them. Some of them are from like a different company, a different person. But then there's Dancin Grannies Active Workout. And we were gonna cover Dancin Grannies earlier in the series and then do a combination of Dancin Grannies with some of those other senior citizen workout tapes. But then somebody was able to hook me up with the first Dancin Grannies tape. So we decided to do just Dancin Grannies on Dancin Grannies.
Yeah, so Dancin Grannies has showed up on quite a lot of, what would you say, like VHS YouTube channels?
Yeah, I could say that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's somewhat well known. I posted a picture on my personal Instagram, and I actually had some responses like, oh, I used to do these with my grandma back in the day. And so they're pretty well known as far as senior citizen exercise tapes goes.
Well, it's what's interesting is they became well known in them of itself. Like Beverly Gianni, what's her fucking name?
Okay, the woman who started Dancin Grannies, her name is Beverly, and she has this very long, complicated Italian last name. I believe it's pronounced Geminiani, I may be wrong, but
That looks about right. That sounds about right.
That's just how we're gonna pronounce it. So
Beverage Mediani.
Yeah.
But so she started this in like a old folks home, like it was a senior citizen like living center. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like it started.
It's like a community
right.
in Arizona.
Of course, it's Arizona.
I know. I had the same thought.
So fun story. When I was moving back here from Texas, and I drove the long way so I could swing through. I drove instead of going straight diagonally from North Texas up to Washington. I cut through like Arizona and New Mexico so I could go to Anaheim and visit my friend. So we had to go long ways. And so we had a relative that lived over in Phoenix. So we stayed with her for a few days instead of like, just taking it slow on this journey to the West. And so we go to Walmart. I'm not a Walmart shopper at all. I think this might have been actually the last time I've ever been in a Walmart, but nothing but old folks. And I swear to fuck, two of them were having a drag race on down one of the big ass aisles in the rascal scooters, and I almost got fucking creamed. Like, not fucking joking. No, get out of the way, nothing. Just, zoom. I had to like literally like jump into a fucking aisle. Almost got ran over by someone going fucking 70. Someone that's 70 going 70.
They don't have a lot of time left. Every second counts. You gotta shave off. You don't have time to yell at the young folks to get out of the way.
Don't blame them. If I couldn't walk, I would be speeding in that rascal scooter myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in like 84, she's living in this living facility, and she started working out because she like turned, and she wanted to turn her neck is what she was saying in one of the videos. That she couldn't turn her neck, and she realized, oh, I should start working out. And then what happened? I forget.
Okay, so she says that she went to turn her neck and she couldn't turn it. And she's like, oh no, I'm getting old. I'm not as flexible as I used to be. I need to start exercising. So she signs up for her first aerobics class. And this does not go well. She notices that this program is not tailored towards senior citizens and their needs. She recognizes that seniors have their own special needs and they can't just take aerobics classes with the rest of us. I was going to say classes with the masses, and I kind of regret not saying that now. But anyways, she decides, you know what? Fuck this. All of these instructors and their classes suck, and I can do this better. So she starts researching exercise to the point where she comes up with her own fitness routine. And she just kind of starts doing it in her own little room in the senior center. And then eventually, all of these other women in the senior center start joining her. And then it got to a group of, I want to say, about like 10 women. And they got invited to go somewhere to perform in a parade, I think it was. So they actually did parades for a while. That was like their first gig. And then that's kind of how they blew up, because everyone just loves the Dancin Grannies. They have this energy about them, this charisma. They're fun to watch. They're energetic. And they went so far as to perform for the presidential fitness program at the White House with President George Bush. H.W. Bush.
They were getting a lot of flack from their family and their friends. They're like, you need to sit the fuck down. Like, you're fucking old. Get used to it. Mm-hmm. Both old people were telling them that you shouldn't be running around in fucking leotards. And then young people were saying, that's fucking gross. You're old as shit. Don't run around in a fucking leotard. And their family and friends were telling them to get back in their lane, accept your fate. But then they shut the fuck up when they got to dance with the president. Mm-hmm. So, tune changed.
Everyone wants to be a hater till you get to dance with the president. Yeah. They were also in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 1990. They were on the Today Show, the Phil Donahue Show.
All kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So they started as in 84. They started doing... the first tape came out in 89, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And through my Google foo, I found her trademark, her registered trademark. She registered it in 1990, and then the tape was re-released in 1991. We have the 1991 release, and she was releasing tapes up until 1994.
Yeah. So the thing about Dancin Grannies is a lot of people, like if you do a Google search for Dancin Grannies, you'll find maybe like some GIFs or some people showing clips of the videos and, you know, having a laugh at them and whatever. But when you want actual information about the Dancin Grannies themselves, there's really not that much information. We had to go pretty deep to find out anything about these women.
It also doesn't help. There's a group of comedians, I want to say. They're comedians.
Quote unquote comedians.
They're entertainers of sorts over in the UK where they're 4 women that dress up as grannies and they go and do performances dancing to modern music. And
it's funny because
old people
don't dance.
Right.
They don't dance to fucking apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur, you know.
They went viral for a little bit and people thought they were real old people. Then they realized, oh, these are just actors. So that loses it. To me, it loses its novelty. Apparently, like you go look at their social media, you can I almost said rent them. You can hire them to come to an event. I can see it being funny to you. They come to an event and all of a sudden you do like some Dancing Granny show up and they do like 3 songs. You know, I can watch it for 15 minutes maybe. In person, it's funny. I think on video on YouTube when I can like just exit, it's like stops being funny in about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But like in person, it's like, hey, you know, it feels a little bit different.
They seem to perform kind of like guerrilla style at like different events. They're usually in a big crowd and they just kind of show up.
Flash mob-esque.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot like a flash mob.
But like it just loses its charm. And when I compare them, because it's people in their 20s, I want to say they look like they're in their 20s.
Yeah, I mean, or 30s maybe.
I'll be honest. Young. Like I thought they were guys dressed as old women. I was like, these dudes just watched like a lot of Monty Python, and then you're like, no, those are women. I was like, oh fuck.
I was like, look, I see the way they jiggle. That's au naturel.
So you know it loses its charm. It's funny for 15 fucking seconds because old people. Oh wait, they're not old. But then you watch this and the opposite happens actually. So I wanted to laugh at Dancin Grannies, and in segments, it does. It's funny. But then when we read about it and how they persevered over everything, they start losing weight. They really did turn their health around, and it's like, wow, good on you, dude. Because honestly, that's a big fear I have when I get old. That like I will be like geriatric and like, you know, not having a good time. I want to be one of those like old people that is like still fit when they're like 90.
Oh yeah,
that's the goal, right? So they were en route. So honestly, Beverly is still around.
Yeah. So of course you watch a tape like this and the thought inevitably comes to mind where you're like, okay, these women are very old and this tape came out 30 years ago. So it's safe to assume that perhaps all of them are no longer with us. And, you know, we are morbid individuals, so we had to know. We had to look it up. We didn't really look into any of the other Dancin Grannies. We looked into Beverly the most. And she was, I want to say, like 56.
She was 50 something in that.
She was in her mid 50s in these tapes. Yeah. And so she's in her 80s now. And we couldn't find an obituary or anything, so she's still going.
She's still going.
But she keeps a low profile. Yeah. She doesn't have social media. You can't find anything about her.
It is probably safe to say any of the other ones when you watch, because it does give their age in like the credits. They are very proud of their ages, especially considering what they're moving. So like I said, you put this in and you expect to see some old shuffling around. But like when we watched Active Fitness, it stopped being funny 5-10 minutes in, but not because of, oh, this isn't funny. It's 5 to 10 minutes in, it stops being funny because oh man, they are moving. These are like they were not fucking around. It was impressive. That's what happens. It stops being funny and starts being impressive.
Oh, yeah. And Beverly is such a sweetheart. Throughout the entire videos, she's just giving you all of these really positive affirmations.
In the first video.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk about the differences between the first video and the second video because there are definitely like different vibes, I would say.
Yeah.
They all look good. We see them do cartwheels. I've read many articles and interviews that say that they can do the splits. We never see any of them do that in any of the tapes or pictures that we found.
How old was their best cartwheeler?
Like 76.
Yeah, their best cartwheeler in this fucking squad was like 76.
Mhm.
I can't do a cartwheel. I'm pretty flexible. I can put my legs behind my head and in my 30s, but like I can't do a cartwheel. So
cartwheels are kind of scary. Like when I was a kid, I would do them all the time, but now I'm like, oh god, I'll fuck up my wrist.
If you twist your wrist, if you land wrong, you twist your ankle.
Yeah.
Even if you just like, if your arm gives out, you slam down on the ground, and that can just, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And she's like, fuck osteoporosis. And like,
dude, I breathe in too deep and my entire back pops. And they're over here 76 years old doing cartwheels and shit.
So the first tape is pretty low. It starts out low intensity as fuck. And they start out with telling you their names, ages, and whatnot.
They do the whole 5 grandchildren. 10 grandchildren. Yeah. They say, like, they go through every single one of the Dancin Grannies and they introduce themselves by like their first name, their age, and how many grandchildren they have. And this one has 10 fucking grandchildren.
Which like sounds insane, but if you really think about it, what if she had like 3 kids, right? Which is not an unusual amount of kids, and each kid also had 3 kids.
Yeah.
Boom, you got 9 kids right there, right? So like,
well, that would be 6.
What? If she's got 3 kids.
If each kid has 3 kids.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking if each kid had 1 kid.
Yeah. Each kid also had 3 kids.
That's 9 kids.
That's 9 kids. That's, you could easily get 9 grandkids if you just have like 3 kids, which is not an unusual amount of like children.
Yeah, for sure. So they are awesome. They're an inspiration. They're so upbeat and fun.
But the first video has this aura to it that's really interesting. So she starts it out when she's doing all these exercises. She's using a lot of analogies towards what I'm assuming a senior citizen would be used to. It's like, this motion is like when you're lifting the window to like get a breeze in.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fucking analogies.
She does this like reaching motion and she's like describing it like you're at a buffet and you're reaching in the back to like pick up a thing. And
you know what that reminded me of? Actually, it was Roseanne. And Roseanne made like a joke about working out, and it was like a motion of like opening the fridge and reaching in for the fried chicken, closing the fridge, opening the fridge, reaching and grabbing the fried chicken. Like it was, I remember this joke. It was literally in the 90s on TV, and that has like stuck with me for like 20 fucking something years. I'm like, that's funny. And but that's immediately what my brain thought of. I just thought about like, an obese woman like, I'm opening the fridge, I'll reach in the fried chicken, and like, doing that as like an exercise motion.
Beverly says that she went from a size 16 to a size 4.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, they lost all of them talk about how much weight they lost. And like, I fucking believe it.
That's crazy.
It's super crazy to think about. Like, and when you watch them do these things, it's like, it's obvious they take this very serious. Like I was expecting to see the senior shuffle happening, but no. They are actively working out. Like if you were to pop this in, think you're just going to play along. No, you got to be in the mindset to like, to get like, some anaerobic exercise going.
You're in the chair. You're on the floor. You got the ball. You got the pillow. They've got all of these different like weights. They're using like bottles of cans and shit.
Yeah, it's the weights they use is anything you got fucking laying around the house. It's like, grab us some bags of rice. Grab the...
Yeah, they're like, we're using peas, maybe some macaroni.
Like I fear the day that a bag of macaroni is going to be a suitable weight for me to lift while working out.
Yeah, I mean,
it can happen, but the goal is to not.
right.
So,
if you just keep at it.
I mean, we're both fairly fit people. We're not in the super great shape, but we take care of ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. I like to run. I like to go to the gym. Speaking of just exercise tapes in general, when I first started collecting VHS tapes a few years ago, I ended up finding one at a Goodwill that was it was one of those like MTV workout tapes starring someone named C Note, and I had to Google who C Note was because I'm like, I don't even know who the hell that is. But it was this like kind of like hip hop dance workout, and so I got the tape. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do the workout. I'm going to try the workout. And like, I could not keep up at all. Like, it goes on for an hour and it's these complicated dance moves. And I had to like pause it and be like, how are they doing that?
I had a Power Ranger workout tape.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger / White Ranger, if you season 2 and 3. He had a tape and it was pitched as like, I'm teaching you karate, which is what like every fucking kid that watched Power Rangers in 1994 was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna learn fucking karate from the Green Ranger. Hell yes. And it's like, I ended up doing martial arts like a few years later. Did martial arts. Yeah. So I did Taekwondo. I also did, karate itself. I did karate in high school, did Taekwondo in junior high. But so it's really about 15-minute workout, 15 minutes of like warm up, and then like a few learn horse stance and you learn some other things. You're not really learning a whole lot of karate.
It's just like basic bitch karate.
It would be your first day in karate class. It's not that you're not learning karate, it's a sham, but it is what it is. Like, he is an accomplished martial artist. He is still an accomplished martial artist. He still looks good. He's pushing 50, I think, and he doesn't look it at all.
Wow.
And I got to meet him like 3 years ago, and he looks like my age, and I'm significantly younger than he is. And he's still out there. He's still fighting in MMA. He does this shit. He runs several karate schools. Like, I believe he actually has his own form of karate that is like, why
was the first thing my brain went to hip hop keto?
If only hip hop keto was a real thing. But I think the actor for Zach, Walter Jones, I think that really was like his thing, because he was not a martial artist on the show. Like as an actor, he got picked up because he was a dancer, so he could. But that's choreography. You can move. If you can dance, you can throw a punch.
Absolutely.
And the Kimberly and Billy, though their actor and actresses were gymnasts respectively, and then everyone else was martial artists. So you had a dancer, 2 gymnasts, and 3 martial artists. Decent mix. Worked out, but
literally.
Back to Dancin Grannies.
Yeah. Okay, folks, I'm going to be honest here. Talking about workout tapes is kind of not the easiest thing in the world.
It's not.
Like, typically, the structure of a VH Saturday episode is we'll kind of follow along through the plot of a movie, but it's like, well, what do we do when there is no plot?
Even there isn't a plot, like we walk down, oh, this happens, this weird thing, like, not even like plot progression, but like what's happening. But what happens on this, it's old people working out. Yeah, then it's like, okay, it's old people working out for an hour. Like,
they warm up, they do this exercise routine, then they cool down, and then the tape's over.
But I do have things to say about this.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So the first tape literally feels like a Tim and Eric skit. It feels completely like a Tim and Eric skit. They're like, I don't know if it's because it was shot on VHS and like Tim and Eric's shit is shot on VHS for their certain skits they do. And the camera angles, the awkward smiling, it all just felt kind of surreal.
Yeah, like the
funny.
tape opens with Beverly looking straight into your soul and just saying, "Do you feel mature?"
It's something else.
I was like, I thought we were working out, not discussing like my maturity level.
The music in the first
Oh
one
my
is something.
God. The music in these is just mind-boggling.
In the first one, it's like bluegrass covers.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's being recorded like it was playing in the studio and the mic was just picking it up, not like they put it in post.
Yeah, it was not added in post at all. You could hear the reverberation throughout the fucking place.
So it's filmed in their senior center.
Their country club.
Yeah, the country club at their senior center.
Yes.
So it's like, it looks just like a rec room of sorts. Like there's like couches kind of pushed out.
It looks like the room you can rent out.
Yeah.
To like hold like a party, like, oh, Greg's having his 65th party. We're gonna birthday. We're gonna have
65th party.
65th birthday party. We can rent out the rec center and like, or like say that's where Santa is, like in Christmas. That's where your Santa photos are to like engage with the community. So anyway, Dancin Grannies.
Dancing motherfucking Grannies.
So the music is insane, and it's
awful.
Just picking up through a fucking microphone, and
it sounds like a band that, like, I assume every senior center, they all have their little groups, and fucking. Why do I want to say Greg? We're just using Greg as like a catch-all of like a guy who lives at the senior center.
That's the name I use for like,
okay.
That's my catch-all guy name.
All right, so Greg, he plays the fucking harmonica or whatever, and then Bob plays the guitar, and they're like, let's have our senior center bluegrass band, and they perform at all the cookouts or whatever it is that they do. And so then, the Dancin Grannies are filming their tape and they're like, hey, we need some music. Greg, why don't you and your band play for us? That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
That's really what it sounds like. And the first song is an accordion. And I'm like, what the fuck? It doesn't sound like aerobics music.
No,
whatsoever.
It is not something you would work out to. It's very jarring.
The first video, she explains a lot of the exercises. They're all very interesting because they're so low impact. I don't even want to know what the low impact tape is like, because this beginner's tape is like beyond low impact.
Yeah, definitely.
It is something else. And what is interesting though is because she's explaining a lot of health concepts to you, because I guess if you're like fucking pushing 70, you forget like, what your body is, like, because you're just decaying.
Oh my God. I'm sure you probably become more aware of your body.
Or do you just give up?
I guess we'll find out.
Think about it. There's a lot of people that just like, oh, I'm just getting old. Like, they don't make that change. They like, Beverly was like, I can't fucking turn my neck. How do I fix this? There's some people going, oh, it's just getting old. That's what everybody was telling her. Why are you fucking exercising?
Yeah, like, you're old. You're old. Deal with it.
Get used to it. You get old. You get fat. You get wrinkly, and you get slow. That's how it fucking goes. And she's like, no, I refuse.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, because like, yeah, at one point, like, my back was being fucking shit and stuff, and I started working out. I could have accepted that, but I did the opposite. I started like working out. I started turning around, and now that's gone away because I changed my lifestyle. And so, but I want to say majority of people will just stop.
Yeah.
I think that's why why I got these, like, this pack of like 8 tapes also. Like I was telling you earlier, this person probably had like a New Year's resolution. I'm gonna turn it all around.
It was a granny with a New Year's resolution and was like,
lasted a week. Statistically, it sounds like I'm talking shit, but like statistically, that's what happened.
Yeah, I think people like New Year's resolutioners typically make it till like halfway through February before they give up.
judging from my observations at the gym, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is what happened. I avoid the gym in like January until about mid-February.
Yes.
Because it's just packed.
It's too much.
It's packed. And
they take so much time on the machines because they don't know what they're doing. And it's just like...
They're not wiping shit down.
Ugh.
Now I'm just talking shit.
Yeah.
Like,
No, Beverly is like the sweetest lady. She speaks with this very eloquent cadence, and she
feel
says,
it in your tummy.
and like, yeah, she says buttocks. Squeeze your buttocks.
She's got this interesting ass cadence, and she hones it in by the second tape. You can hear it in the first tape. The second tape, it's dialed in. And it's like, okay, that's using as fuck to me.
Mm-hmm.
But she's explaining all these health concepts, you know, like, oh, you're going to feel this over in your back. And that's because we're stretching this muscle. You know, it's a lot of good information.
And she talks about why it's important as a senior citizen. Like, you know, she's like, we got to make sure we're working on our balance. We got to make sure our wrists are strong. You know? Yeah,
she gives like these, like this one stretch I remember where she referred to it as like, it's like when you're getting out of bed, and she like pushes her wrist down to like lift herself up on her side. And she's like, think about it. If you don't work this to get out of bed, you're not going to be able to get the fuck out of bed.
Yeah.
And like, that's a scary thought to me. Not being able to like lift myself out of fucking bed.
Oh, that sounds like heaven. Sorry guys, can't get out of bed. Just gonna chill here forever.
So I gotta take a
dream,
shit.
Baby. Oh. Oh, wait, I didn't think about that. Bodies excrete waste.
You gotta like go pee. You gotta go fucking take a dump. Gotta get fucking food.
Damn. Okay.
No, I like being fucking mobile.
All right. Okay.
It's not like the girl.
Look at you. You're just 5 steps ahead. What would I do without you? I would just shit the bed.
Can't move out of bed. Sounds like ideal to me. Just bring me a pan.
I love my 600-pound life. Sorry.
I was just thinking about that. I was gonna say, it reminds me of that girl on My 600-Pound Life who was like her husband or boyfriend like make this like gruel in a blender and like feed it to her with like a funnel.
Are you serious?
Have you ever seen that episode?
I don't think so.
And she wanted to become the largest thing possible.
Wait, yes, I have.
And she's like, you know, princesses and queens were fat because people just did things for them. That's what I want. People to be on me hand and feet. And it's like, you know, you can do that without like giving yourself, you know, a coronary like issues, right?
Yeah.
You can have your boyfriend, you know, serve you hand and feet, but like not making yourself morbidly obese. There's not a correlation there. That's an excuse.
Fucking Dancin Grannies, y'all. I'm gonna be real, like the 2 tapes, even though they're different, in my memory now, they're just kind of like blending together.
What is this? Eat right and put on your dancing shoes. That's like her
your walking
shoes. Eat right, put on your walking shoes. Like that's like a song that they all sang and quote, and like they all shouted at the end of the fucking tape. And then the original tape, like I don't have it with me, but it came with an insert and it had like a little note from Beverly about, you know, good job picking up this tape. Get fit, motherfucker. And like she signs it, you know, ... PS, eat right, put on your walking shoes. And I read that, I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? And I watched tape, I'm like, oh, I guess that makes sense, but I still don't know what the fuck does that mean.
Well, yeah, there's this song that they dance to. It's like, put on your walking shoes. It's like a country song. And by this point in the tape, we were really weirded out by the music, and I was like, I need to know what the fuck is going on with this music. So I remember I was like Shazamming the songs and nothing came up. And then I started Googling the lyrics that I could hear. And then I found that there was this song by Tanya Tucker that came out in 1990 called Walkin' Shoes that sounds almost exactly like it, but it's not the same song.
Yeah,
so the song in the tape is like a cover or something.
Well, like the original tape was recorded in 89. So wouldn't it have been the same song that was?
No,
It came out in 1990.
There's no way. Is this like a fucking Babe and Gordy scenario where like everyone thinks that Gordy is the ripoff when it actually came out first?
Really?
Yeah.
No,
You didn't know that?
no, Babe. I always thought Babe came out first.
No. No, Gordy came out first with the pig power in the house. Song by Tag Team.
I remember these movies. I never actually watched any of them.
Yeah.
I never watched.
Gordy's a treat. This weird movie.
Talking animal movies can fuck off.
Yeah.
Like I never liked them as a kid. I liked
Homeward Bound.
That movie was shit. Like to me.
Wow. Okay.
I said to me, like watching that as a kid, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about talking animals.
The only time
How do they fight?
Oh my god. The only time I have a problem with talking animal movies is when they try to animate the mouth.
Oh god.
Because it's like that's when shit gets weird. Like they don't talk, their mouths don't move like that. It's bizarre. But it's like if you're not moving their mouth and they're just kind of like speaking, like you can hear their thoughts. They're not talking out loud. You can just that's like what that is.
There is one that I liked. Look Who's Talking Now. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Are you familiar? You're familiar with Look Who's Talking, right? It's a movie from like the 80s. It takes place in New York. And I forget, I think it's Kirstie Alley. She might be in it.
Mm-hmm.
And John Travolta, I want to say. And they have a baby. And the baby's talking. But he hears the baby's thoughts. And think Rugrats, but adult oriented and live action in the 80s. He's like just going around doing his shit. And like he gets lost at one point. And
like Baby's Day Out.
Like Baby's Day Out, but like.
So it's like Baby's Day Out mixed with like.
It's Baby's Day. It's Baby's Day Out, but the movie was like an adult intended. It was like the audience was like adults. It's an adult comedy, not a children's comedy, right? So there's no slapstick or anything like that. Like the baby like picks up a crack pipe and hands it to his mom like in the park. Like,
oh my god!
Because they're like in the park and like the kid did something. The mom was upset and he's like, "Oh man, I made my mom mad. I gotta get her a gift. Oh, this looks cool. It's nice and shiny." He picks it up and he hands her like a fucking crack pipe. And she's like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "Yeah." The second movie is Look Who's Talking 2, but spelled Too, because they have a daughter. And like now the daughter can talk too, but the daughter and the son can like
telepathically communicate.
And like all kinds of shit happens. And then the third movie, like, how are we gonna top this?
There's a third movie.
That's Look Who's Talking Now, and that's the one they get dogs.
What?
They got two dogs. They're like there was like a dog from a breeder and a dog from the pound.
Are the dogs in addition to the babies, or
yeah? It's the same family. It's still like Kirstie Alley's family. I want to say it's Kirstie Alley,
but they get dogs too.
They get dogs. That's why it's Look Who's Talking Now. Because they keep the same actors for the kids, so they got older. God. It's funny. It's legitimately a funny movie series.
It's actually funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
5.9 out of 10. John Travolta, Kirstie Alley. Boom, I'm good. I'm right. I haven't seen this movie in like 15, 20 years.
Yeah, you know the whole like that like her name is actually Kirstie Alley, but we call her Christy because it was spelled wrong in the credits of, I want to say it was like Cheers or something.
Huh.
Yeah. Because I remember growing up, I would watch Cheers, and like that's how I knew her. I'd watch it on Nick at Night. And it was like, oh yeah, like Kirstie Alley or Kirstie Alley, however they spelled it. And that's how I referred to her. And then I heard someone talking about her on TV. And they were saying it different. I was like, what?
Maybe these movies aren't as funny as I remember. This has got like a fucking 4.7 out of 10. And it's got a 4.4 out of 10.
Oh.
But they're like PG-13. Like I said, they're adult comedies. Like, you know. Talk about fucking Look Who's Talking. So the tape ends with them like talking about their experiences.
Oh yeah, we get real personal with the Dancin Grannies at the end of this.
One of them
tape.
starts talking about being a widow and how Dancin alleviates her sexual urges.
Oh yeah, one of I think is it like Patty?
I don't know. I just put one of the grannies says horny. That's like my notes.
Yes.
She's like
old ladies fuck too.
Oh dude, did you know? At senior citizen like living facilities, both in like care facilities, but also like apartment complexes, like where this was filmed, where it's like a community. STDs run rampant.
Oh yeah, I have heard that.
Yeah, they run rampant because they just start fucking because they got nothing else going on, and
good for them.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, good, yeah, cool. They're getting laid, but fucking wrap it up. Like, just because you're 70 doesn't mean like gonorrhea doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Like. Just saying, like that's disturbing. Like the disproportionate amounts. Like you guys are old. Like, are you? Is it just like fuck it? I'm dying like anytime now. Like
maybe
I don't know. Like
or maybe a lot of them view condoms and stuff as like anti-pregnancy, and they just don't think about STDs at all. Because, I mean, I don't know, knowing their generation, they probably, like, married their high school sweetheart and then only ever had sex with them. And then, like...
I mean, we say this now, but, like, our parents are going to be in, like, these homes, like, in, like, a matter of years.
Please don't.
Like, we're both in our, like, 30s. So, like, you know...
Actually, I turned 30 in 2 months, so...
Uh-huh.
I have 2 months of youth remaining.
He's saying 30s aren't youth still?
No,
you calling me old?
Look, everyone, we're as young as we'll ever be at this moment right now.
I mean, we're reviewing VHS tapes. I think that's just something about us being fucking old.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, one of them's fucking horny, and that threw me off. Because she was like, it replaces my sexual desires. Unless, I don't know what celebrity she said. I'm going to say Phil Donahue because I know he like...
It was something like that.
It's some like old, totally dead now.
Only
like,
old people know who it is.
Only old people knew who he was in 1990, let alone in 2021.
Right.
Like, so... Like, you had to be already pushing 70 to know who this guy is. Like, he's probably would have been like 120 today if he was still existing. But she's like, unless Bing Crosby came around my way, then maybe I'd change my mind. Like,
okay, so she says that it helps with her sexual desires. Does that mean that she gets off from it?
Feel in your tummy.
Squeeze your buttocks.
Get your balls ready. That's what she says. Get your balls ready. Like,
I have to say, like, the first tape, they use these, like, actual, like rubber bouncy balls, you know? And then in the second tape, they just use, like, a pretend ball. And I'm like, where'd the real ball?
Oh, because remember, in the first tape, one of them drops the fucking ball and, like... He dropped the ball on that tape.
You dropped the ball, Karen.
She dropped the ball on that tape because she literally drops the ball. She runs to the back. She's like scurries, grabs the motherfucking ball, gets back in like line and starts doing her dance again. I'm like, they couldn't do another fucking take?
Oh, no. The first one was shot in one take. Like, it was just a recording of a class. I think this is a perfect time to segue into talking about the vibe change on the second tape.
So the second tape starts out with a really cool animated intro. I say really cool, but like fairly well done.
Cool.
Very cool.
It's very cool.
So it's a fairly well done animation with some like voiceover from like Beverly, like talk about getting ready to...
Yeah, and then they have a theme song. The Dancin Grannies have their own theme song.
Fuck.
And we get to hear it twice in that tape. It's great.
So, like, there's a lot of different grannies.
Yeah.
There's way more grannies on screen.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them are gone. Horny one's still there though.
Oh yeah.
The horny one's one.
She needs her fix. She's not going.
She's like, you film another tape? Hell yeah, Beverly, I'm in.
I've been so pent up. Ever since my husband passed.
Because she talked about being a widow. She's like, since I'm a widow, this helps with my sexual urges.
Well, you know what? There's probably many other grannies just like her out there who heard that tape and were like, thank you for your honesty.
Like, I mean, I get it, but like...
It is weird still.
Like, it's not even weird because she's like old. Like, this could have been like Jane Fonda, like, which was also big in like the 80s and 90s, doing workout tapes. And Jane Fonda was like, you know, it helps with my sexual urges. Like, what the fuck, Jane Fonda? I mean, I think it's not because she's old. It's because, what the fuck? How is this even like...
I'm just saying, I've seen Barbarella. Jane Fonda has some very interesting sexual desires.
Different grannies.
Anyways.
Higher production value.
Yes. Vibes, though, little off. They're a little off.
The music is different.
It's better. It's not great, but it's better. It's not bluegrass.
It's something else.
It's something else.
It is something else.
Yeah.
Some stages, some songs.
Stages.
Yeah. Some songs sound like stages from video games.
Yeah.
There's
Kirby.
There's a one song that sounds like it's from Kirby. There's another song that sounds like it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
And there's like one song that sounds like a combination of Diddy Kong Racing and Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
It had that same like bass line as Mario Kart 64. We were like listening to it, we're like, that's the same fucking bass line.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Like, it was just going. And like, as I'm watching these grannies fucking dance in my brain, I'm just seeing like the menu for Mario Kart 64, like trying to pick a fucking track.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's exactly. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
So like, I swear to fuck, this all the music sounds, you know, besides that one, all the other songs sound 16-bit. Like,
yeah, like what did you say? Like they made the soundtrack in an Amiga?
I said because it's 1989. I said I would not doubt it. I would not be surprised at all if this was edited on a fucking Commodore Amiga, and also the music was put together on a Commodore Amiga. That checks out for a budget video production company in 1991. Totally fucking checks out. Like, that is on par. So that makes total sense. But a lot higher production value generally. It's filmed in a different area. It's filmed in what the fuck did they film this in? At Cottonwood Resorts in Sun Lakes.
Yeah. And shout out to Cottonwood. What the fuck is it called? Cottonwood. Where are you reading this? Cottonwood Resort. Because that was the first website that I found when trying to research this, and it's this is like,
it's they still have like a write up on like the Dancin Grannies. Like, it's this like apartment complex for old people, and this like, and they're like, Dancin Grannies were here.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I found out. I made the connection on the back of the tape, and I was like, oh, okay, this is real.
There's a lot more cuts with the camera angles.
Yeah, I feel like I got the vibe that they filmed this in segments. Yeah. And I don't know if they had to do them multiple times or what, but some of them in the background are struggling.
I was about to say, the one that looks like B. Arthur.
Yeah.
She has this strain. Her face has this constant strain. Yeah. Like, if you have an iPhone and you know the one emoji where it's like showing all of its teeth, it's like, that's what her face looked like the entire fucking time. She looked like she was in pain.
Well, see, the first shot that we see her, she's like right behind Beverly. And so you can see her face, like, and she is not smiling at all. She's miserable.
You can tell she's trying to get this smile, but it just comes off as like that emoji.
Yeah, but then she starts smiling like really big, and then we see it kind of slowly fade throughout the rest of the tape. So I have this idea that the production crew behind this tape were much more, I don't know, Nazis compared to like the last, because like Beverly keeps looking off screen.
Yeah.
She seems very distracted.
She's super distracted during a lot of shots. There's this one where it's straight up just reminding me of that one skit in Key and Peele where they make fun of the aerobics championship from Crystal Light.
Yeah. Yeah, where it's like, keep dancing. It's your wife.
There was an accident. Your wife was on the way here. Keep dancing, we're live. He's writing all these signs. If you haven't seen that skit, look it up. It's fucking great. But it's straight up reminding me of that. She's looking off screen at somebody. And speaking of like things off screen, there's a few shots where we see the other cameras.
Yeah.
Or is it the camera or is that a boom mic?
It was definitely a camera. You could see it was like the left side of the screen.
Yeah.
Just for a second, you could see like the camera kind of just like pan up and down.
They shot this in multi-camera format, which is great. But then when they were like doing like a pan, you saw this other fucking camera on the fucking side.
They didn't want to get the camera in there.
No.
But they did.
You know, honestly though, this was like our second time watching it and we didn't catch it the first time.
That's true.
That's how minor it was.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give them that. I've seen way worse.
Yeah. I would say that, like, honestly, the Dancin Grannies don't really do that much dancing. I think they were kind of, like, originally went with the dancing title because that's what they were doing in parades. So actually, what's super interesting is Beverly, for how elusive she is, did actually write the story of the Dancin Grannies in Chicken Soup for the Woman's Soul in 2004.
That's already retro. That's, you know, like, that's something.
Oh my God. I remember back then those books were everywhere.
They fucking like popped off. I was like, in like in late 90s, they fucking popped off.
It was like everyone had a fucking, there was a Chicken Soup for the Soul or whatever book for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And you went to someone's house and it was like, you know, their mom had the one for women. They bought their kids like the one for teens. And then, you know, there was like, it was nuts. If you weren't around at that time, you probably have no idea what we're talking about. But it was just this really popular book series of just like short stories, and they
wholesome.
They were supposed to be like wholesome and motivational and just kind of uplifting.
Wholesome memes that you paid for.
Yeah, so you know, like Chicken Soup, it's comforting. It's chicken soup for the soul. And everyone's soul is different, so they need to have their own book.
I avoided those actually.
I was way too edgy. I was like, get out of here with this positivity.
I mean, like, not even just that. Like, you know, my mom didn't buy them. Like, everyone's like, mom was buying these things, but like, my mom's not that. She's not like other girls.
Okay.
But I remember hearing about these, and like, I was reading, like, what the fuck is this? Like, it never appealed to me. But so I just kind of dodged that entire.
So check this out. When I heard about that, I tried to find, I was like, okay, this book is old. It was super popular. There's got to be a free PDF online somewhere. I just want to read this one section. And I could not find it. Everyone's like, oh, sign up for a free trial on our website and we'll let you download this PDF. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm smarter than that. So I went on Amazon. I bought the book. I screenshotted the parts that Beverly told, and then I returned that bitch and I got my money back. But talking about the origins of Dancin Grannies, especially like the dancing part, a little excerpt here says, one day, the community center staff came to me and asked if I would help with the entertainment for a Hawaiian luau they were putting on. I said yes. I'm a yes person. I say yes first and think later. Then I talked 5 other ladies into dancing with me. How hard could it be, I thought. The hula? Just wiggle your hips. We performed the hula and a war chant and brought the house down. Someone had a camera and took pictures, then sent them on to our local paper. We got requests for more engagements, which in turn led to more publicity and yet more engagements. Soon we had invitations from all over the country. The Dancin Grannies were born. So, the Dancin Grannies' first dance was the hula and a war chant. So, you know, Beverly, I'm sorry, girl. The rules nowadays, you're canceled. Culturally insensitive. Henry's giving me this look right now. No, look, it was a different time, folks. It was a different time. A war chant? What the fuck? The hula? How hard could it be? But, I mean, look, we all experience some kind of prejudice, especially Beverly, as an older woman who's banging and active. I mean, it's hard out here for women who are of her,
I have no idea where you're going with this.
okay, I'm just trying to segue. I'm trying to segue and I'm failing. What I'm trying to say is she talks about the prejudices that they experience, like you mentioned earlier.
Ageism.
Ageism. We often ran into age prejudice. The young in particular assume things about older people that aren't always true. One weekend, we were invited to perform at a university in Wisconsin, and it was arranged that we would sleep in the dorms. Well, the students dismantled their bunk beds for us grannies. They must have thought that either we wouldn't be able to get up to the top bunk, or that if we made it up there, we might fall out. It's been hard. It's been really hard for them.
Is that discrimination?
Yeah, man.
Doing you a favor, like
Yeah.
like man, like how do they know? How do they know they?
Like
How do they know? Like
they're just trying to space out the beds, just like no ulterior motive, and they're just like, "How dare you? Is it because we're old?"
Like, how do they know that, like, they didn't think they should be on the top bunks? Unless someone was like, but now we spaced out all the beds down here so you don't have to use the top bunk there. I don't know why I made him sound like that.
Well, because they were in a university in Wisconsin, so they they probably did talk like that.
Immediately, my brain just...
Hey, dismantle that bunk bed theory.
Wisconsin, huh?
Wisconsin.
Want to go over to Culver's?
Yes, I do. I was raised, I grew up very close to Wisconsin, so it holds a special place in my heart.
Well, my family's from Wisconsin, so it's just Midwest culture.
Yeah, love it. Wisconsin is its own little world. I'm very fascinated.
That entire like chunk of the U.S. Like one of my closest friends is from Michigan, so Michigan, and like my family's in Illinois and Wisconsin. So, but I was raised basically like on the West Coast, from like California and Washington State. So
we may be wondering, well, how was Beverly raised? What was her early life?
Where was she at? Where's she from?
Well, she kind of goes into it a little bit in this. What do you even call this?
Biography?
This story that she put in Chicken Soup for the Woman's Soul?
It's basically like a it's a autobiography selection of sorts.
Yeah, I
of
guess.
A life.
Anyways, she says this. I think the real secret of the Dancin Grannies is our attitude. I was raised extremely poor, no food poor. If we wanted toys, we had to make things up to play with. So I learned early to be very creative. And I think being poor was one of the best things that ever happened to me because I learned to look for treasures. That's what I'm still doing today, looking for the treasure in growing old. I'm getting better and better. I haven't heard one young person yet say, I'm just dying to get old. That looks like so much fun. But it can be. We're pushing the edge of the envelope, living longer in a totally different world. When I was little and visited my grandmother, it was always, watch out for Granny's knickknacks, don't touch anything, be quiet. When my grandchildren visit, they like to try and test me, and I say to myself, I'm not going to let those little twerps beat me, and oh, we do have fun. It's true that antiques have to be treated a bit differently, with a little care, but they still have a beauty all their own. And I think that just sums up Beverly's philosophy in life. And it's kind of beautiful. I'm not going to lie.
There's a lot of good things about her, like, philosophy on life, I agree with that. Doesn't really warm my soul, necessarily.
Doesn't feel like chicken soup or anything.
Chicken soup tastes good.
Yes, it does. And it's also quite low calorie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Pretty much soup, like, as long as you're not eating like a cream-based soup, you're pretty good.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah, I know.
Like, some like chowder.
Yeah. I don't really know where to go from here.
I don't know either. Like there's
It's grannies. They dance. They're in good shape. They work out. They want you to work out. They want you to be in good shape throughout your whole life. No matter how many tens of grandchildren you have.
they're funny.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
They're funny to watch, like but like the funniness wears off.
Yeah, I mean, like exercise tapes, if you're watching them for the lulz, it's kind of like you're not going to be side splitting laughing the whole time. There's some little things, some little gems here and there, but for the most part, at the end of the day, you're just watching some old ladies work out.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, who's really like getting pranked here, you know? Like, you're the one watching this shit.
So yeah, Dancin Grannies, I would say they're worth to watch on YouTube. Don't hunt down the tape. It's not worth having in your collection.
I mean, is it?
I don't know. It's
They make for a good conversation piece.
Who are we gonna talk about Dancin Grannies with?
I talked to my coworkers about it, and they all thought it was pretty
It's funny, but like, I mean,
would they actually sit down and watch it? No.
It's a video you pull up on YouTube and you skim it to like, look at this bit, look at this bit, like, look at this bitch saying she's horny, like, you know, you got to be able to like, you know, skim through it and like parse it to like fucking certain timestamps. That's when it works as a comedy piece. Like,
it's perfect fodder for like everything is terrible style, like YouTube channels. Just give me a couple scenes. That's all I need to know.
I've been to a few bars where like they just put VHS tapes on because it's just aesthetic. And so this is something that would definitely be on at a bar.
But like active watching.
Yeah.
It's not the most entertaining thing in the world.
I'm just thinking about her cadence right now. Bingo, didn't you tell me? It's permanently etched in my brain at this point.
Yeah. Beverly will live rent free in our minds for the rest of time.
She might live forever. She might pull a Betty White.
That'd be sick. I just wish that like she didn't capitalize on her fame. You know, I'm wondering if it's like the only audience she got popular with at that time are like no longer around, or they don't use social media or something, because it's like she, like nowadays, if you get even an inkling of fame or an audience or something, like you milk that for all it's worth. Well, but like, they just kind of like went on with their lives.
Well, when I was looking at her trademark, it lapsed in like 95. She didn't renew it because it was only valid for like 5 years, and she didn't renew it. And that checks out because 94 is the last time she started selling tapes. So I don't know if she got bored with it, if there's diminishing returns, like she stopped selling as many tapes. Like, did her audience die off?
Oh my God. Like, well, either way, the trademark died off, and now mediocre comedy troupes from the UK are allowed to use the name for their own, to milk their fame for all it's worth. What's interesting, you pointed out the other day on their website, is they have like VHS tapes like with their graphics as a label on the top of their website. Yeah, just like as a graphic. But they're like, they never came out on VHS. These are like kids in their like fucking 20s dancing around as grandmas. And so like they never released anything on VHS, but like they're using it as like a graphic. And you know, you were spot on last night saying like you think that they are trying to use the fact that these tapes are a bit of a cult hit on the internet. Mm-hmm. They are funny. A lot of people have talked about them. Especially in the VHS community. Like the found footage community, people that just like looking at like weird retro shit. This is a well-known little gem. And I feel like they are aware of that and they're using it to cash in. Yes, they want that association without flat out lying. So they're going to put it there. So if you're stupid enough, you're going to think it's the same shit. Oh no, people get really mad about that because so when we first found the Dancin Grannies UK comedy troupe on YouTube, the first video that I found, I was watching it and I went down to the comments, and the first comment was one of the girls in the group replying to some other comment, you know, calling out the haters and being like, we've been acting for 20 years. And if you don't get it, that's your fault and blah, blah, blah. Because everyone's like, they're not real grannies. This sucks. That is like, people want the original OG Dancin Grannies.
I don't know if that's like so much they want the original Dancin Grannies.
They want real grannies.
They want real grannies. You lose all of like what makes it interesting. Mm-hmm. Once it's just makeup. You know what it reminds me of, actually, in a weird way? It reminds me of why I feel like movies just look like shit now, because everything's the same 3D plugins in After Effects and shit.
Yeah.
Every movie just kind of looks the same, and like it's not a practical effect. You can just tell it's fucking CG, and it loses something because it's not real. So like there's no fucking point to watch it. And same thing with like I'm just watching 20-year-olds dance awkwardly.
Yeah, it's like you can go to a bar any day of the week and see that.
Like if I'm gonna be on the internet watching people like 20-year-olds dance,
go on TikTok.
Just to go on fucking TikTok, just scroll over to the fucking reels on Instagram. Like there's a million other options that are significantly better, because the fact that they're dressed up like grandmas loses all of it. It just loses any sort of like comedy in minutes, like not even minutes. Like it stops being funny.
And then the point that I brought up last night as well is that the new Dancin Grannies, inherently, they're antithetical to the original Dancin Grannies. The original Dancin Grannies set out and persevered to prove that old people can be nimble, old people can get in a good workout, and can be flexible. And they proved that point. But the new Dancin Grannies come in, and the butt of the joke is, this is funny because old people can't do this.
Yeah, exactly. That's the punchline. Old people can't dance like this. So, but then you watch Dancin Grannies and it's Dancin Grannies stops being funny fast, because they're not just doing like a senior shuffle. Like I said, it's like, holy fuck, they're like moving, and it becomes actually like a thing.
Impressive. It becomes impressive.
It's impressive. You're like, wow, okay, fuck.
Yeah, right? Like, dang, I'm getting winded just watching that.
Yeah, and at that point, it becomes funny because, holy shit, old people are actually moving. Like, wow, expectations subverted, and that's what makes... So you go full circle when you watch the real Dancin Grannies. Like, haha, Dancin Grannies. Oh, wow, that's actually impressive. Oh, that's funny because it's so impressive.
Yeah.
You have this like ebb and flow. You come to full circle.
It's a journey. Whereas new Dancin Grannies, you just watch 5 seconds of it and you're like,
pony.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
It's okay. You got generic, like you're dressed up. Like it's really just stereotypical grandma clothes too. It's like, oh, we're wearing like shitty ass wigs and
knit sweaters,
big ass glasses, and the real Dancin Grannies are like leotards, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, and their hip bones, like you could cut a steak on them. They're so sharp.
They like talk about how like, you know, when they earn their like leotard and stuff like that, and like one was talking about how she felt so like awkward at first, but then like she started losing weight working with the Dancin Grannies, and she's like, dude, I fucking love this thing now. Like, look at me, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, good for them. Original Dancin Grannies, thumbs up. I give them a thumbs up.
Check it out on YouTube.
New Dancin Grannies, I'm gonna give a thumbs down. Not a fan.
You could look them on YouTube, but like I said, I want to see their analytics. Like what I want to see their retention.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like how many people watch for like, and they lose interest because like they put out like 10-minute videos. It's like, why am I gonna watch 10 minutes of fucking people dancing?
And on their website, they have this like, I don't know, it's like a music video or something. I don't know. They made some video where they're not even dancing in it. It's just them like making fun of skinny hot girls, and it's just like, what are you doing? What What are you doing?
Maybe we don't get it. Maybe we're not British enough.
Maybe.
We're just too fucking Yanks.
Yeah, honestly, like, British are more into that kind of humor than we are.
That's how come I thought there were guys dressed up as women. Because that's...
It's like something they would do.
That's such British humor.
Yeah.
That is like literally like that's been British humor for like how long? Like, you know, like
Forever.
Like all theatrical roles for the longest time were portrayed by men,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then it kept going, and then that sort of kept alive by.
I mean, that's what like drag.
Yeah.
Like that's like a Shakespearean thing, right?
Is it?
Yeah, that it stands for like dressed as girl or something. DREG. That was like the abbreviation that they used.
It's weird.
Yeah.
DR like is one. You know, it's
Mhm.
it's weird when people do abbreviations like that. I get it, but
Yeah,
I never
started with.
I
Like,
never
Shakespeare
thought
and
about
stuff.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where all that came from. It's a British invention.
Dressing in drag is like redundant.
Like ATM machine.
Yeah, I was gonna say like ATM machine.
Dressing in drag. Interesting. I never thought of that before.
Oh, that's redundant. Drag's actually an acronym.
I don't know.
Uncultured swine.
Oh boy. Yeah, check out Dancin Grannies. It's good. So yeah, check out Dancin Grannies. And also check out our website, vhsaturday.com. We have links to all of our social media accounts there. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We also have stickers available for sale. DM us on Instagram if you're interested. Our first round of stickers sold out completely in one day. So thank you all so much for the support.
We really do appreciate it. Every time you buy a sticker, it's going directly to us. Hunting down new tapes, the stickers are going to be $3 each. That really can give us literally 8 episodes if we hit the right fucking thrift stores. It might be some, like 3 episodes because $1 a tape. It could be 25 cents a tape if we go to certain places. But either way, it goes directly into us finding this weird ass shit to bring back to you.
Yes, and honestly, I think the stickers look great.
They look super fucking
Yeah,
rad.
they're sick.
They are super rad. Holographic, die cut stickers.
Yeah. Put them on your hydro flask. Spread the word.
Put it on your fucking car. Put it on your hydro flask. Put it on your parents' car. Put it on your locker. Put it on your VCR.
And also remember to eat right and put on your walking shoes.
That said, remember everybody, be kind, rewind.